What's up, everybody? It is your girl, Jab Queen Boxer, and we are back for yet another one. So, just a little while ago, Brian Norman Sr. was with Mill City and they went live on Instagram. I guess some questions were asked about, obviously Brian Norman Sr. and the whole VADA testing. And this is what Brian Norman Sr. had to say.
People, that's not even a thing for us. You feel what I'm saying? Hey, look, I asked her, bro, who you think we hang around? You know what I mean? Don't see nobody around there. You around the people. You feel me? Y'all around the people. We ain't around the people. Ain't nobody around us got none of that going. I have never seen steroids one day in my life. I've never been offered steroids. I've never been offered PEDs. I don't know nobody ever been offered them. I don't know nobody ever done them. I'm so serious, bro.
So, first of all, let me say, I find Brian Norman Sr. hilarious sometimes. I know people have their issues with him when it comes to the whole Brian, him versus Boots thing, but I find Brian Norman Sr. hilarious. That's number one. Number two, I found this particularly intriguing, and obviously, we've discussed in the past how Bill has apparently weaponized VADA, and not making accusations, but insinuations about other fighters and the fact that they could be on, performing enhancement drugs. So, he's basically addressing that. And let's not forget, take a look at your screen. What you just saw was VADA sending Brian Norman's team a copy of his VADA results. The results came in, I believe, August 7th for a test he took July 24th, which came back negative. So this is starting off to be amazing. We are off to a really good start with this fight. Let's keep it up. So there are no excuses, right? No PEDs, just gloves upside your scalp, baby. Mill City also went on to ask him about a Instagram post that he made. So we'll listen to it and then we'll listen to his response and then I'll give y'all what I think.
You put out a message on Instagram, kind of want to get your reaction and, add a little bit more to it. Here it is. This is a personal message for the Haney. I know y'all looking for all the advantages you can possibly find. Like you're making all the phone calls and you're doing all the research behind the scene that you can possibly find. I want y'all to know this right here. If you want to, send them over to the camp. We're going to beat them up and send them back to you. We're going to make them up. All right? Send them over to the camp. We're going to beat them up, send them back to you, and make them a pimp. Make your phone calls, get your insight from all your people, and that'll make a difference. November 22nd, your ass is grass.
So I'm not really sure if you guys could hear exactly what's going on, but apparently, the Haneys may have been trying to put some moles in the camp, see what they could find out. He told them, go ahead, he'd have Brian Norman Jr. whoop them out and send them on back. But they have been dealing with some crazy things he did go ahead and mention too. Also, I don't know if you remember, but I did mention a while back in a few videos ago that, the Haneys were making phone calls, trying to see what they can find out, which is obviously something you are supposed to do when you are getting ready to fight someone. I do know Brian Norman Sr. mentioned that, obviously he's obsessed with the opponent, all of their business, any and everything they can find out, which will, help give them a competitive edge, anything they can do to get inside of their head. It's all part of the game and the hustle. So I definitely do understand that. I City. I just kind of wanted to emphasize the VADA testing because I know that is a huge talking point and a lot of contention lately. I know, there were some issues over whether or not he would go ahead and do the VADA testing 18 weeks prior to the fight. And I know, the fan bases were pretty much split, go ahead if you have nothing to hide, take this as I know me personally. I just was like, man, Dada only asked for 8 weeks. He's already agreed to 16 and now you want an additional 2. I just thought it was a little bit much, but I understand, you know what I mean? You want to make sure you're in a clean fight with anyone that you're in a clean fight with, which is cool. But just from my point of view, I felt as if the Haneys were trying to weaponize Vada, using it as some sort of scare tactic or some sort of additional hoop to make Brian Norman Jr. Jump through. But I'm glad that he just went ahead and acquiesced to the request and went ahead and did their Vada testing. As we saw, the Vada testing did come back negative. So, shout out to him. He like, boy, you ain't wiggling out of this ass whooping. And I am all for that. So, obviously I'll be, keeping an eye out for any more tests if they publish the results moving forward. Although I didn't see Devin's test published. I have to go look for that and I'll make an updated video if necessary. But I did not see that. I did, however, see Brian Norman Jr.'s test published. So kudos to him for wanting and participating, all the way through with a clean fight. So shout out to him for that for sure. I also saw this picture posted on his Instagram. It's a picture of Brian Norman Jr., Abdullah Mason, and then all the way to the left is Javion Woodard. He appears to be helping Javion get ready for his fight that he has coming up on the 31st of this month against Brian Phillips. Either way, it's probably still good practice for Brian Norman to be helping push another young gentleman, as well as getting some good work in all on his own. It's obvious to me that Brian Norman Jr. is absolutely taking this fight with Devin Haney seriously. This is a big stage for him. I mean, I know that we, talk a lot about, this being Devin's biggest test, but this will be a test for Brian Norman Jr. as well. We'll see how he is able to handle those bright lights come fight night. And, like I said, obviously it looks as if he's preparing rather well and taking this seriously as he should. So we're going to see. And as the fight gets closer, as I said, we'll start doing breakdowns and I'll start taking final fight predictions. But for now, that's all I have for you guys. And as usual, y'all know what to do. Catch me on a panel, baby.